Hello my young friends, my name is Jan Opatril and I'm a writer and illustrator as well as a sports angler from the Czech Republic. Because I like fish, especially carp, I have written the children's book Matty the Little Carp for the youngest readers. Today I'm going to read another 4 chapters from my book, so sit comfortably and enjoy the reading.
So I said goodbye to Neil and set off for the dam the very next morning. When Goldie, Brian and I arrived there, it was all gloomy and chilly. We found a comfortable place right below the concrete wall, covered ourselves with mud up to our chins and wished each other good night. We didn't wake up until spring. The sun was shining above the surface and its warm rays were slowly heating up the water. I rubbed my eyes, had a nice stretch and slowly set off on the long journey back with my friends. On the way, we met our old friend Diana the Roach. "You mustn't go to the tire now," she warned. "Why not?" "Because now you have to span." Confused, I glanced at Goldie and Brian. They looked as surprised as me. "You don't know what spanning is?" Diana asked, amazed. "It's something you do every year in the shallows. It's how little children are made. You have to find a lady carp and start a family with her." At once, thinking about the family brought to mind my lost parents, Harry and Evelyn. "Yes, your children, my dear little carp, will hatch from roe and you have to give them names and take care of them, and then take them to school." So we changed direction and headed towards the shallows. The shallows were already swarming with lots of lady carp. Straight away, a beautiful lady carp with olive-colored sides approached Goldie. "I'm Olive," she introduced herself. "What about you?" One, two, Goldie bleated. "You are called 1-2? "No, my friend is called Goldie," I told Olive. "Oh, Goldie, what a lovely name! And how well it goes with your scales!" Olive cried out. Whereupon she took the astonished Goldie by the fin and swam away with him. "Look, Matty, that one there is beautiful!" Brian suddenly exclaimed. The lady carp he was pointing at did indeed look very fine. Her body was white as snow and she had magnificent black and red splodges. "Hi, me Suzuki, me from Japan. Me ask if you want to span with me." "Me want," Brian said, excited by the foreign accent. He and Suzuki swam away to fulfill their spring mission. I was left alone. I looked left and right, wondering who would come for me. At that moment, the most beautiful lady carp I'd ever seen appeared. "Hi, my name is Jane," she said, winking her lovely light brown eyes. "And my name is Matty," I said breathlessly. Then I kissed Jane and gave her a tender hug. Jane liked to snuggle up close, so all the while we pressed close against one another and chatted about our lives, the children we would have, and my lost parents. "You haven't seen them, have you?" I said in hope. "I'm sorry, Matty, I haven't." In love, Jane and I swam to and fro across the shallows. A few days later, we were surprised to bump into two besotted fish, and I knew one of them. "Hi, Neil," I said to my snake-like friend. "Matty?" the eel bleated in confusion. "Is that you?" "Yes, don't you recognize me?" "You know my eyesight's not good," Neil said apologetically. I introduced him to Jane, and Neil introduced me to his young lady. "This is my Helen," he said proudly, "who is 3 fins shorter than me." "Oh, Neil," Helen the lady eel protested. "You know I am really 5 fins longer." "Are you also getting ready to reproduce?" I asked curiously. "Yes," Neil confirmed, "but we have to go all the way to the Sargasso Sea." Jane and I looked at them in surprise. "How far is the Sargasso Sea?" "A really long way," Neil said. "It will take us several years to swim there." "Have a nice trip then," I said to the 2 love-struck eels, before Jane and I headed off in the opposite direction. We had a lovely week together. We gave birth to thousands and thousands of fish eggs, and in just a few days' time, little carp would hatch from them, our children. "Now I have to find my friends," I told Jane. "But don't worry, I will be back soon." I was crossing the shallows when suddenly I saw 2 little worms lying on the bottom. Forgetting to be careful, I sucked them into my mouth, and I felt a hook stick into me. Terrified, I started to fight. I tensed my muscles and dragged my mouth along the bottom, but I couldn't get rid of the hook. There was nobody around to help me, and I was slowly getting closer to the shore. Suddenly, a fine net surrounded my body, and an unknown force lifted me out of the water. I lay on the shore, gasping for breath. The dry air made my eyes stink. Then a figure leaned over me and stroked my back with a wet hand. "This fisherman doesn't want to hurt you," the thought flashed into my mind, but I found it hard to believe the words. "Hello, little carp," I heard him saying in a strange human language. "My name is Paul, and this is the first time I've gone out fishing this year. You are my first catch, so like a proper fisherman, I will let you go," he said before carefully removing the hook from my mouth. Then he carried me over to the water and gave me a goodbye kiss on my forehead. I realized that after my parents and Jane, this was the 4th kiss I'd ever had in my life. Then, relieved, I gave a swish of my tail and hurried off to find my friends. And 2 days later, I found them.
Well, this was another 4 chapters from my book, Matty the Little Carp, for the youngest readers. I hope you enjoyed my reading today. Are you glad Paul the fisherman released Matty back into the water? And how do you think the book will end? If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe. I can't wait to read next chapters for you. And if you want your own copy of this book, you can order it from my e-shop. View the link below. See you soon and have a wonderful day. Bye!